that I have is about guitar teaching. And when you were younger, it was kind of a different ball game, you know, because the only way that you could learn guitar was essentially through a guitar teacher or through books. Nowadays, a lot of people pick up guitar through apps on their phone and videos. And so how do you feel that all this has affected the guitar teaching business?
Well, you can still make money teaching guitar. I think if you pre-record lessons nowadays you can have people be able to purchase downloads. A lot of people have gone that route. So far to date, I've really only done the record lessons for Guitar World and let them just put them up. To me, that's cool. I don't know. I don't need to make money teaching nowadays. I do fine with gigging, and so I don't mind with that. I've taught some Skype lessons recently, but in general, like I just don't teach a lot. I taught for years and years in Chicago. I taught 70 students a week, and that was a lot. I mean, it was just like constantly every day, and then I'd have gigs at night, and no regrets. It definitely helped me make my living in the music business for like many, but really the first 10 years was all like teaching and supplementing with gigs, and then gigging took the forefront and just kind of grabbed the ball and ran, so to speak. I guess that's really horrible English, but whatever. You get my point.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. The next question I have, in an interview, you spoke about working in a studio when you were younger. Working in a studio, you're bound to come into contact with other music professionals and other musicians. And so what were the most important lessons that you actually learned while you were working in a studio?
Well, probably that, like, learned how to keep my mouth shut, because when you start out at a place like that as a runner, or you did everything from park cars to answer phones to clean the place when you started. If you go walking up to somebody who is in there because they're famous and you want to make a connection, so to speak, or something like that, you get fired for that. So it was good for that more than anything. And it was just cool to look back as a life experience, and living in Hollywood at that time at a young age and working at a major studio. It was a great life experience. And I did learn a lot about being a tech. I worked up into the tech department and aligned like the 2-inch machines at the time. Everything was still analog. So the 2-inch tape machines and the 1/2-inch and 1/4-inch, and how to do, alignments on those machines and print the tones and things like that. And it was, a great studio, Neve boards and Trident consoles. And so it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I can't even imagine walking into like a studio back then, because everything's like digital now and Pro Tools and whatnot. So when people talk about tapes, to me, it kind of goes over my head. But yeah, you're in Whitesnake, and you also play for Trans-Siberian Orchestra and Cher. And so how did those 3 opportunities come around?
Whitesnake was just learning that they were going to need a guitar player and getting an audition, and that mainly happened through Phil Carson, who manages Foreigner, got me an audition with David Coverdale, and that went well. But it was sort of just like you'd imagine, an audition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra was like 2 auditions. They needed a guitar player, and I had a couple of friends in the band recommend me, and I auditioned first for Al Petrelli, the music director, and then second for the owner, Paul O'Neill. So I just had to pass the test with each of them, and was offered the position. And what was the third one? Cher happened through Whitesnake not touring in 2017, and I just texted just any colleagues in my phone, basically like, hey, I'm looking for like fill-in work, because I didn't really need a new band. Whitesnake was recording and staying busy, but not touring. So I didn't want to join anything new per se, but just wanted to like do fill-in work. And so my friend Justin Derico, who plays with Pink, he also plays guitar on the show The Voice. I don't know if you guys have that over there, but in the States. So anyway, Justin recommended me to the other guitar player on The Voice, Dave Barry, who's Cher's guitar player at the time. And so he basically had me fill in, and then Dave got busier with The Voice as Justin got busier with Pink, and blah, blah, blah. It kind of turned into more of a full-time thing. Although I mean, realistically, I'm there probably about 60% of the time right now.
Yeah.
60, I do the best I can. She's having a really busy year. It's been a tough year because everybody did more than usual, Whitesnake and Cher and TSO, and so
Yeah.
just trying to keep them all going.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite between them three, or do you love them pretty much all the same?
I mean, the reality of the music business is all these gigs are going to have their positives, and the key is to look at those. Otherwise, you just become that guy who's always complaining and whining, which is like so annoying because musicians have it, we have it made. I mean, we get to travel the world, we get paid to travel the world and play music, do what we initially set out to do. And so how could I honestly be like out like complaining about being able to do something like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It took me so long to get to the point where I had a decent level of success, so I appreciate it, I think, a lot. So it's all great. All these things have. I'm lucky to have any one of those gigs, much less all three.
Yeah. The next thing that I want to talk about is that a lot of people seem to think that people have a big break, but obviously, both being musicians, we both know that there's no such thing as an overnight success. So can you just explain, from somebody as successful as you are, how you are not going to be hugely successful overnight, and that it actually takes a series of small breaks to basically get where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I think it sounds a little arrogant or egotistical to say I'm hugely successful because I don't know that I am, but I mean, yeah, I think any level you get to with music is just like anything else in life. You get back what you put into it, right? So you just need to keep working. And yeah, for me, that comes down to trying to be productive every day. Like, just trying not to take days and throw them away by whatever. Not pursuing your dreams or being active and going after what you're meant to be doing. And I never necessarily set my sights on anything specifically. Like I never, there are some people I think that hurt themselves by doing that. They pick out their favorite band and they say, I want to be in that band. And it's like, well, that's not, you need to widen your horizons a little bit and just work hard and see where life takes you sometimes. Because there's been a lot of breaks for me that have come along that I never would have seen coming, that happened through doing stuff that, I mean, I've just about everything I have came through working in a situation where I was like making no money to work extremely hard.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of have to do that stuff too at times, and I still do. I'll still do like work on music at times where it's not going to be like a financially intelligent decision, Like I mean, it's like it's not about the money. You're going to have some times where you make money, and that's great, but it's about the love for it and like working hard at it that will lead you somewhere that I think. And I look back and think, okay, so when times were tough, it was the love that carried me through, not the hard work, right?
Yeah.
So, because I think it was just everything seems to make me like feel fulfilled in the music business, playing concerts and recording, and I just love it. Like I have a lot of passion for it and enjoy it. So I think that just that kept me through a lot of tough times where things weren't looking so good for me, but I didn't realize.